Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video I want to show you the game that was played at the second leg of the Women's Grand Prix. This tournament finished just a couple of days ago, and you probably know that the winner of this tournament is Grandmaster Aleksandra Goryachkina. Today I want to show you her game against Zhongyi, Chinese Grandmaster and the former world champion, women's world champion. I believe that for Aleksandra this was the most important game of this tournament, because the Chinese chess player, she finished second, and I think that they were both fighting for the first place in this tournament. I just want also to add that Aleksandra won this Grand Prix quite confidently, because for example in the last round she just needed half a point to win this event, and she did it. She did that, and she did it without any problems. So this game was played in the fifth round of this tournament. Aleksandra played with black pieces, and let me show you the game. So they played the Italian game, and yeah, so bishop e3 was played in this moment. I'm not an e4 or e5 player, and as far as I know, when, for example, in this case, white plays bishop e3, so it's usually it's not recommended to take this bishop, because if you take this bishop, pawn takes, for example, castle, white will castle, and then it will be easier for white pieces in this case to attack on the king side, because this f file is already open and there is some pressure here. So that's why black doesn't take the bishop, and black played d6. Black doesn't mind to have double pawns on the c file, so white takes on c5, pawn takes, and a4 is played. Okay, and this move surprised me, because it seems that black doesn't mind to have a pair of double pawns on the c file and on the e file. So, well, white takes, and black takes on e6. If to evaluate this position, seems like white doesn't have problems. White's pawn structure is absolutely fine, right? Well, even this a4 pawn is normal, but black's pawn structure is a little bit unusual, so to say. But apparently white made a mistake at this point. White castled. White decided to castle, and white decided to castle first. Probably white underestimated black's chances for an attack on the king side, and that's why white decided to castle first. What black did? Black didn't castle. Black played queen e7 first, and then after knight b1. By the way, this may look like an unusual move, but in fact there is a quite clear plan connected with this move, because when knight is on c3, it looks fine on c3, but at the same time it cannot go anywhere. So it cannot go to b5, it cannot go to d5. In this case, this double pawn has a good role. It keeps under control these two squares on f5 and d5. So knight can move back and then maybe to g3, but again it will not be able to jump to f5. So that's why white plays knight to b1, and from b1 it can jump to a3, it can then go to c4 or to d2 and c4 this way. And here black decided to take this opportunity, and while white's pieces are, you know, almost all of them are on the first rank, black started attacking on the king side by playing g5 immediately. So knight b to d2, g4 immediately, pawn takes, knight takes, and white plays g3. Black castles. And if we look at this position, and if we try to evaluate this position, so how do we do this? First of all, one of the first things we look at is the safety of our kings, right? And if we look at black king, so we can see that black king is absolutely safe, it's absolutely fine. And it's really difficult for white to create attack on the queen side. And when we have opposite sides castles, then what do we usually do? One side, white, for example, is attacking on the queen side in this case, and black is trying to attack on the king side. To attack, to create some attack for white, it's quite difficult because, well, b4 immediately is not possible, and it will take a lot of time to play c3, b4, because c3 is not possible, pawn on d3 will be hanging. Moreover, white doesn't have actually time to do that, because white's king is not safe, and it can be seen quite clearly. White's king is quite open at this moment. So after long castle, white played king to g2, rook d to f8. Black's plan is quite clear right now. Black is just moving all her pieces to the king side and preparing to break through at some point. Slowly. So at least after rook d to f8, it was possible to play c3 and maybe push b4, maybe create something, or as we will see a bit later, queen b3 will be played. So black plays h5, rook h1, queen g7, rook h3, knight goes to e7, and queen b3 move was played. Well, attacking e6 pawn. And here it was already possible to play quite strong move, knight to g6, sacrificing this pawn on e6. The thing is that after knight to g6, queen takes e6, black will just play king to b8, but there is a quite real threat for white. Black wants to play knight f4, and after pawn takes, knight will go to g3 with some mating ideas. So it was possible to play knight g6 immediately, but Aleksandra preferred to play in a safe way, and she just played rook f6, protecting her pawn, and also with an idea to double rooks on the f-file and to put even more pressure on this knight and on this pawn on f2. Rook to f1, second rook goes to f8, and pawn is hanging on h5, but it is not good, it is really very bad to take this pawn on h5 because of queen f7. And right now we can see that queen is attacking this rook on h5, and also there are three strong pieces putting pressure on this knight on f3. Knight cannot move because pawn on f2 will be hanging. Well, and first of all, rook on the h5 is hanging. That's why it's not good at all to take this pawn on h5. So king g1 was played. I cannot explain exactly, understand why white decided to make this move, because by playing king g1, this knight is already hanging, so black can already win two minor pieces for a rook, which is normally depending on the position, but in the current position it's a good option. It was possible maybe to play queen d1, trying to protect this knight, but probably queen f7 still can be played, or maybe knight g6 can be played. Well, the attack of black pieces is really quite serious. But white preferred to play king g1, and after rook takes f3, queen takes c6 with check, king goes to b8, knight takes, rook takes. Now black has two minor pieces for a rook, but these minor pieces are quite strong because not only this knight is very active and creates some pressure on the side, on the white side, but also this knight is planning to move to g6 with this knight to f4 idea. Rook takes h5, rook takes d3, rook goes back to h3 because in the current position white always needs to be really very careful, because something like knight takes f5 is always, you know, possible. Knight black can sacrifice knights by taking pawn on f2, and if king takes, even if king takes, then queen takes g3 with some mating ideas. If rook takes, then also queen takes g3, and well, with a really with a real attack. So that's why rook goes back to h3 to protect this pawn on g3. Rook d6, queen moves back to c4, rook to d2 again, queen c5, and finally knight g6. I was waiting for this move all this time, because knight on g6 is a very strong piece, and this idea is so so beautiful. So rook goes to h5, and finally knight f4. Now if white takes, then if white takes our knight, then knight takes f2 can be played, and after, for example, well, it's difficult to well, actually there is just this move, but after this move I guess we can play just knight takes c4, giving check and attacking the queen. But there is move rook g5, but after this move we can play knight h3, giving check. The only move is here. Sorry, the only move is here, then we take this, then we take this rook, and there is no time to take our knight because we give check, king goes to g1, and we give checkmate. That is why white cannot take our knight. That's why white played rook to h4. And now one more beautiful move was played by Aleksandra Goryachkina. She played knight takes to f2. So if rook takes f2, then queen takes here and checkmate, I think, on d1. Yes, looks like a good plan. Rook d1, rook f1, and rook takes f1, checkmate. If queen takes, then we are just winning the queen, and we have enough material to win this game. If, well, what was played in the game? Queen e3 was played in the game, and then black gave one more check, knight f2 h3, rook takes h3, knight takes h3 check. The only move is to h1, rook goes to d8. Now black is piece up, and black can do whatever black wants because king is safe, extra piece, white king is open. So rook d8, black has another plan, and after rook f5 and rook h8, white finally resigned because it's really difficult to find a move in the current position. What white can do, for example, if white plays king to g2, then knight f4 check can be played, and well, I don't know, if something like this is played, then queen goes to h6, pawn takes, we give check, king goes to f2, rook to h2, here and here, checkmate. That's why after rook h8, white resigned, and Aleksandra managed to win this game. And as I said, I think that this was a very important game for her in this tournament, and that win helped her to become the winner of this second leg of the Women's Grand Prix 2024-2025. I hope that you enjoy this game, and thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and see you in my next videos. Bye bye.